Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
He's been talking about it, if not for the last couple of years, if not for the last decade. This is what? There's gonna be like 8 years of Trump. We're gonna be okay though. We survived the first term and we're going to survive the second one. We are here to resist Donald Trump's racist agenda. We're seeing that he is already planning a rollback on what the chokeholds, like the ones that were used to kill George Floyd. And to quote Martin Luther King, the moral arc of the universe may be long, but it does curve towards justice. It does curve towards peace, and it does curve towards equality. Because we want to see America actually be great.
And could you tell us why you care so much about this, like this protest and, his agenda?
Well, I guess it's plain and simple. I'm a black man in America. I also have a lot of loved ones, unlike me, who might not be black, but might be Latino or might be queer, who will be affected by this. And it's people are dying in the streets from starvation right now. People are California is on fire right now.
We have more important things to be concerned about right now.
High key, we have actual problems that can be solved.
No Trump, no KKK, no racist USA!
No Trump, no KKK, no racist USA!
I care a lot about this because, like I said, I am queer, I am trans, and some of this has personal weight on me, but I am also white. There are a lot of other minority groups that I am not a part of that are affected by this, and I think that just stopping the spread of hate and trying to improve equality and the quality of people's lives is just a very human thing to want. I don't think it's much to ask to try and just improve things for everyone, even if you're not a part of some of the major groups that have been targeted.
They're basically trying to erase whole swaths of our community and really crack down on all of our loved ones. All of my great-grandparents were immigrants. They came here, hoping for a better lives, and it's really sad that they didn't get to experience that because the reality of what this country is. Also, as a queer and trans person, my rights are being taken away. I shouldn't have to be worried about if my wife and I's marriage is still going to be legal in the next few months. You know what I mean? But beyond that, even if it didn't affect me, it affects my loved ones, it affects my community. So I feel like everybody should care about it.
I want to make Jacksonville and the world a better place for myself and also for my little one who's 2 years old. I want her to grow up in a world that is peaceful, a world that respects her and protects her as well.
That is exactly why I care so much about being here. Not just for me, but for those who are yet unborn, and we cannot afford to go back. We should unite and move forward, not backwards.
I have been involved in the Palestinian resistance movement for a long time now, even before October 7th. I've been involved in that fight. I've been involved in anti-war organizing. I've been involved in fighting against police crime. And I think that these are all movements and issues that are near and dear to me. I have a black husband, you know what I mean? I'm on Trump's list, right? And so fighting back against his reactionary agenda, it's not just about satisfying personal politics, it's about our existence, It's about fighting for our own dignity as people, and it's about giving people self-determination, giving people freedom, and giving people the dignity to take control of their own lives and take control of their own futures.
And so if this war didn't start on October 7th, do you think it ended yesterday? No! Hell no!
I'm born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, born and raised in the U.S., and I have seen that our country allows certain types of people, a certain class, to be more specific, to amass hoards of wealth, while the rest of us are battling for scraps. Beyond that, they exploit folks all across the globe, like my family's and many others for his family.
The people united will never be defeated.
What is your biggest concern with Trump's agenda?
Along with all of Project 2025, I guess most pressing on my mind is the ICE raids that are going to start happening all across the country starting tomorrow. Millions of people are going to be deported. It's going to be horrible.
So I don't want to just say all of it, but all of it. Like there are definitely too many things to list in one interview. Like there's like his attacks on undocumented workers and his plans for mass deportation, his new policies regarding just defining like gender and sex as like man and woman, which is going to leave out a lot of people who are non-binary.
There's so many like incredibly concerning parts. I think the most pressing to me right now, as someone who's going into grad school, is continuing my career in academia, is the crackdowns on higher education. But also, the mass deportations they're promising to roll out this week are incredibly concerning. Like these people are our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers.
As a trans person and a queer person, there is a lot of legislation that has been put in place that has been trying to restrict our rights. I've even heard about trying to turn back gay marriage, and as someone who does plan to get married to a woman in the future, that is a right and something that I think should be inherent to me that I want for myself.
For me, reproductive freedom, 100%, especially as a mother and someone that had a child by choice. I couldn't imagine bringing a child into the world essentially forcibly. Another one of the issues that really does concern me as an educator is definitely education, making sure that education stays equitable for all children in all states and all cities. That's something that concerns me the most about his agenda, among other things such as the police immunity proposal that he's having. Giving killer cops police immunity is something that also does not sit right with me.
It's tough to say that one particular struggle is what I'm most concerned with. I think that Trump has a lot of stuff that he's trying to attack right now, but the thing that I think is the most immediate is the attacks that he's promised on day one against immigrants. The fact that he is trying to start, probably right now as we speak, is probably letting loose ICE raids on people is disgusting to me, and I think that's something that requires very immediate organization against.
I'm Palestinian myself, so we've seen in his first term what he has done to Palestine, breaking all sorts of international law to recognize occupied Jerusalem as the Zionist occupation's capital, defunding UNRWA, and so many other things, supporting illegal settler attacks in the West Bank, which is where my family lives, and beyond all that, Trump is just an anti-people, anti-worker.
I know that our bodies are cold, but I hope our tempers are hot.
Do you believe being here you're making a difference?
I believe that workers create all the wealth and all the power in this society, and we're going to need a united fight to fight the ruling class and those in power back. So I'm happy to be here with all sorts of organizations and folks today on every issue in Trump's agenda.
I do. A lot of people don't believe that protests make any difference, and in a way I can see where they're coming from. But when you have this amount of people showing up and showing out to support a cause, it sends a message. It shows something. It shows that we are united in one front against the fascists who are taking over our government.
We're just showing that we're not going down without a fight. This is a really good crowd that we have out here too at this moment. So it gives me hope that the next 4 years I'm not going to be fighting by myself.
Absolutely. Now is not the time to be obedient or compliant or to sit on the sidelines. Now is the time for people to use their voice and speak up for our democracy.
I think it can be really easy for folks to write off things like protests and rallies as like, you're not actually making any change, but you are. I mean, in the time that I've been in and around organizing in the city of Jacksonville, I've seen these rallies like triple, double, quadruple in size over time. As more and more people are educated and get connections to their community, the work that we're doing is to foster those connections, is so that we can support one another, is so that when something happens to one of our community members, we can mobilize and fix it.
What we are doing here is building a united front between between all of our struggles. Today is a launching point for us to actually set that idea in action, to actually build unity between all of these organizations. Some of these organizations have not done stuff together before, but we are building a broader coalition now than we have ever had.
State Representative Angie Nixon actually just gave a great quote. She said that we have to resist, ridicule, and reject so that we can rebuild. And that is actually that's my mindset. Like, we have to resist the agenda. We have to reject every racist, sexist, transphobic policy that he pushes our way so that we can rebuild. And we gotta make America great, not in the way that MAGA tries to sell it to us, but great as in safe, inclusive, and just for everybody.
Arrests are increasing nationwide as President Trump's mass deportation plan moves forward. Monday, the number of people taken into custody by agencies, including U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, increased to more than 1,100 people, including in cities like Chicago.
Tonight, with the battle over tariffs, President Trump imposing steep taxes on the country's three largest trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China, sparking fears of a trade war, which could threaten the global economy.
Tonight, the president's latest ban is being challenged in a court in a lawsuit that was brought by 6 transgender service members and 2 transgender individuals who wanted to enlist.
Tonight, NBC News has obtained a memo ordering that all references to, quote, gender ideology be removed across the federal government. The deadline was about an hour and 20 minutes ago at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and we're seeing those changes take effect as we speak.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so.